Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today for this session. My name is Regina, and today we're going to talk about the electrical safety at home, but not in a very technical way. It's about everyday electricity uses and safety. So the session is designed definitely for anyone. No matter your age, your housing situation, you don't have to have technical background for this session. You don't need to know anything about electricity to benefit from this. Just you know, how you live day to day. So this is the basic content for today. Don't be overwhelmed. This is not a lot. And so again, this session is delivered by EasyStepUK, and it's for providing the community with electrical safety awareness and prevention guidance only. It does not include electrical inspection, testing, installation, or repair. So by the end of the session, you will be able to understand why electrical safety matters in everyday life. And you will also be able to recognize common electrical hazards in the home. And you will learn the practical steps to reduce electrical risks. And you will also know when and how to seek help from a qualified electrician. So it's a rich and nutritious session, very practical and everyday based electricity uses. And this is the scope and boundary we have talked about. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit first about why electricity safety matters, like it's important for everyone. So now electricity is part of daily life in most homes. So we all use electricity every day. We charge our phones, we cook using electricity, even just to turn on the lights, it's engaging with this energy, this infrastructure every day. But there could also be accidents happening when we don't pay attention enough to these kind of daily habits. So electrical accidents can be quite serious. It can result in electrical shock, burns, fires, and also very serious injury or death. And what's shocking is that most of these incidents occur due to damaged equipment or unsafe use, and most people don't realize that there are problems until it actually happened. And most electrical accidents are preventable. So if we pay enough attention to daily life, these cases don't need to happen. And electrical shock can occur when, a person touches live electrical parts, which is in contact directly, or faulty appliances will allow current to pass through the body. It also happens when cables, plugs, or sockets are damaged. And it's noticeable that even low voltages can be dangerous in certain conditions. And I'm going to introduce you with some common electrical hazards at home. Typical risks include frayed or damaged cables we just talked about, overloaded sockets, and extension leads, sorry. Faulty plugs or loose connections. Use of counterfeit or poor quality electrical products. Electrical items used near water. And there are also some warning signs of unsafe equipment that you may be able to, find or notice when you go home today. So you should definitely stop using electrical equipment if you notice there are cracked plugs or loose parts, or if there are burn marks, sparks, or unusual smells coming from the equipment. If there are flickering lights or buzzing sounds, exposed internal wires, and when the equipment becoming unusually hot. And after talking about those hazards and the signs that we need to pay attention to, I'm going to go into the part of safe, everyday use of electrical appliances. These are some habits that we could keep or we could start gaining if we're paying attention to the electrical safety. So first, follow manufacturer instructions. And then use the correct fuse in plugs. And we'll also need to keep appliances dry and please be away from water. And then we can switch off and unplug when not in use. This is quite hard. I always forgot about this, but my roommate always reminded me to do that when I just, keep the pot plugged when after use. But she said it's quite dangerous, and the manufacturer notices also ask the user to unplug whenever you're done using. And lastly, do not force plugs into sockets. And then this is the part about extension leads and adapters. I believe we all have, we need to use adapter here. So good practice includes avoid using multiple adapters together. And also do not overload extension leads. And then fully unwind cable rails before use. And finally, use extension leads as temporary solutions only. So overloading actually increases the risk of overheating and fire. Okay, so this part is about understanding electrical fires. How does it happen? Electrical fires usually need ignition, fuel, and oxygen. Common causes including overloaded sockets, faulty wiring, and damaged appliances. So as we can tell, the electrical fire can actually cause very serious, household fire. So when we're talking about electrical safety, we're also talking about how to reducing the fire risk in the home. So simple steps will include, we talked about this multiple times, do not overload sockets, replace damaged plugs and cables, keep flammable items away from electrical equipment, switch off appliances at the wall when not in use. And here are some pre-use checks everyone can do. I know there's a lot of tips and habits. Perhaps you can take some notes if you feel available, or maybe just keep in the mind when next time using these equipments. So before using electrical equipment, check cables for cuts or damage. Check plugs for cracks or loose parts, and look for signs of overheating. Ensure no wires are exposed. Do not open plugs or attempt repairs, because this is gonna be like electrician's work, and it will also have some risk if you open the plug and attempt for repair yourself. Okay, what if the equipment is damaged? If electrical equipment is damaged, stop using it immediately. This is for safety issue. Unplug it safely, remove it from use, arrange safe disposal or replacement. So never attempt to repair electrical equipment yourself, because that might cause you, in touch with the current. Isolation electrical safety. So isolation means fully disconnecting equipment from its power source. Isolation prevents accidental and re-energizing during work. Warning notices and lock-off systems support safety. Again, only qualified persons should carry out electrical work. And then if electrical equipment is not working and we actually need to repair, how do we connect with a qualified electrician? So always use a qualified electrician if electrical faults are suspected, fixed wiring or sockets are damaged, electrical installation need work or upgrades. Do not rely on temporary fixes. Next, what to do in an electrical emergency. So if you actually have someone in your life that receives an electrical shock, this happens in real life, do not touch them directly, because this may also get you into the current and in contact with electricity. Switch off the power if it's safe, and then call emergency service 999 right after, directly. And also check breathing once power is off. Remember, do not touch the person who receives electric shock directly. So we've talked about all these protection methods and also daily habits that we could do to protect our vulnerable households. And again, extra care is very needed for children and young people if you have children at your home, and also older people, people who might not be so familiar with using the electricity or some electrical equipments, and people with disabilities or long-term health conditions. or households in poor or overcrowded housing. This awareness helps reduce avoidable risks. Again, lastly, these are some key safety messages I want to deliver to you through this session. So these are some key takeaways to remember in this session. Electricity is safe when used correctly, and most accidents are preventable. This is why we're doing this session, because we want to prevent some traumas from happening. Regular checks reduce these risks, and do not ignore warning signs of your equipment. And finally, seek professional help when you need it. And these are some further support and advice about the electricians or some about your equipment. So again, use registered electricians for electrical work. And you can also please buy electrical products from trusted retailers. And you could also seek local energy and safety advice services if you need. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the session. Do you have any questions on all these things we've talked about? I know this is a lot of little tips and little daily things we throw to you. But again, it's just we've really tried to protect our households from encountering those dangers or accidents from electricity uses. And we believe this awareness could be spread and could be mentioned in daily life. So thank you so much for being this session with me and taking part, also throwing out your concerns and questions in this session. And don't hesitate if you have like any further questions or concerns you want to reach out to us. Feel free to give us a head up. And thank you so much.